Nite with Kendra and Dossie. And here's your host, Kendra Dossie.
Hi, everyone. How's it going? How are you, Zach?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a new year. It's a new time.
New time? Hell yeah.
It's been a real long time since there's been a year that has been objectively good, but let's let it ride. Let's see what this one's got.
We need a little bit of optimism, right? We got to make things good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you are doing well. Just to let all of our viewers at home know, as you may know, I recently got a cat. The cat is horny. The cat is very horny. She is perhaps one of the horniest cats I've ever met. So you might hear her yowling in the background during our show. It is not because it's not because I don't want her to get spayed. It's not because I haven't tried to distract her. It's because she is a horny menace against society. So my apologies if you hear a cat.
We've all been there.
We've all been so horny we're just screaming out the window, haven't we? Right?
That we're disrupting society.
Yes, she is disrupting my sleep cycle. She's disrupting society. I have given her CBD. I have given this cat like drugs, and she's still
cat CBD.
Yeah, there's cat specific CBD. I think.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Kendra,
you could.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think you got sold some snake oil on that.
This is like.
There's
I got
no
it
way
from,
that
like,
cat CBD is a thing that actually does something for cats.
Like this is. I have consulted people. Like I think it can do something. It's hemp CBD. I don't know what that means, but I think cats are affected or can be affected by it, but like she's just so horny. I don't know. I've met animals who were so anxious that they were put on weed. So
well, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off my ring light because it looks like you're holding a seance and talking to a ghost right now.
I am holding a seance. Yeah. This is we're trying to raise some ghosts, the ghost of Marxism wandering around Europe.
Better. I should have set this up beforehand, but what are you going to do?
It's okay.
So we've got a heck of a show this week that is we put probably as much time into putting some organization and thought into the show as the U.S. government has towards its COVID response during Omicron, I would say.
Yes, that is so true, Zach. Except, thousands of people won't get sick from us not working too hard on the show.
Right. Yes. This is pretty low stakes.
Yeah. Omicron's out there. We are breaking records in terms of COVID. Just COVID all over the place. I know lots of people have it. I'm adjusting my plans. Mm-hmm. It sucks. I don't like it.
Yes. And so to me, I went to Montreal for the New Year, mm-hmm. which you can say whatever you want, whether or not that was a good idea or not. If it was safe, I don't think it's necessarily any less safe than Boston, but I did travel there. And the fun thing that I learned is that when you're crossing the border into Canada, if you are a Canadian citizen, they're like, "Oh, welcome back to Canada. Here is a at-home rapid test for you to do when you go home." And then they give that to you and you're on your way. If you are crossing back into America and you are an American, you get asked if you're carrying any produce. That's all. You get nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Just the little things like that. I know that giving people a test at the border is not going to be the make or break of a pandemic, but little things like that are larger indicators of whether or not it's just one of the easiest places to get everybody's hands on a fucking test, and you can't do that there.
Yeah, it's. Obviously, the Biden administration here has really, screwed the pooch on this one. Speaking of animals that want to get screwed, my cat is meowing, but it's frustrating especially because, like epidemiologists are usually like, yeah, like coronaviruses, like COVID and the flu and stuff tend to rise in cases over winter because people are gathering and like just the way it works. So like it's not like this. Right. I mean, obviously this like variant is very strong. Mm-hmm. But like these cases aren't necessarily unprecedented. Right. We definitely could have put in work into like increasing testing infrastructure, making sure we had rapid tests go to every like American, making sure we have KN95s or other good masks go to every American. And apparently there was a report that said, do you want to put her in here?
Yes.
Okay. Just, yeah, sorry, she's wreaking havoc. She's 7 pounds and wreaking so much havoc. So yes, Biden could have definitely, like, I think there was a report that was like in October, people were like, yeah, it'd be cool if you like gave out at-home tests. Like, of course, we need to like build up that infrastructure to make all the tests, but like it might be a good idea. And the Biden administration was like, no.
Oh yeah, somebody asked Jen Psaki this in a press conference, and she laughed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is stupid.
If we're going to defend the Biden administration, in their defense, how could they possibly have known that winter was going to come?
How could they have known winter was going to come? How could they have predicted?
We never know when it's going to be winter.
Never, especially with global warming, winter could happen anytime.
Right, exactly. Which, spoiler alert, they're also not going to do anything about.
Yes. So yeah, I think people are losing faith in the government. Yeah. I don't know why Democrats expect anything from the voters if they can't deliver anything. It's stupid. Last week I waited in line for 3 hours to get a test, and I hated it. I waited in line outside. I hated it.
Was it the one in Chelsea?
It was the one in Chelsea, which is like, it's good.
That's like the best one.
That's the thing. Like, the most frustrating thing is that a lot of municipal governments, not even municipal governments, but like community organizations have stepped in to like, make sure people have access to get tested. But, like, there is some dependence on either state or federal government. So like in Chelsea, a lot of teachers got test kits, or like test kits and mask, but like the teachers were like looking things up on the mask, and the masks were not of quality. Like they were not like KN95s, even though they were like promoted as being that or something similar. And then some of the tests were expired, and it's just like, this is bad. This is bad.
I don't know if you heard this one this week, but there was a story that I read about how one of the companies that manufactures the tests last summer, because demand was going down for tests, just destroyed a warehouse full of them to make room in the warehouse for other stuff.
God, the way the economy works is so stupid.
Guess what? Markets do not protect you. Markets do not help anybody. If you believe that the markets are the solution, the markets are the solution to if you have money. If you do not have money, or if you have even the remotest sense of altruism and hope for the betterment of other people, you need to stop believing in markets. Like I would say, now is the best. The best time to stop believing in markets was probably like 2008. But if you couldn't have done it then, do it now.
Don't believe in markets. I know I don't know, like maybe there's some libertarian, maybe if I say libertarian enough, they'll start watching. There's probably some libertarians that are like, the markets will fix all problems. Have they fixed this problem? No, bitch.
We'll lure in the libertarians by saying we're going to do an episode on age of consent laws. And then all the libertarians will watch, and then we'll bait and switch them.
Yeah, I know people who before this identified as libertarian, and now they're like, I always thought most libertarians are stupid, but now I'm like socialist Democrat, which it's a step closer. but yeah, I think this entire time has just really made people not like everything.
Yeah.
Sorry. Here's my. That's my horny cat. She doesn't like being held. Anyway, so yeah, Omicron's happening. I think the U.S. hit a record for cases over the entire pandemic. We are almost 2 years in, and we are at the highest point. Get some KN95s. Stay inside.
But at least we are blaming the right people for the ongoing pandemic. Of course, I'm talking about teachers' unions who are getting all of the blame from the most soulless, dead-eyed members of the DC averse. Just all of them have decided that it's actually the fault of the teachers who, first of all, are in many cases aren't even making a choice. They're just being like, we can't open the school because everybody's sick. But also, in some cases, are like, we would like to be home so that we don't also get sick. And yeah, it's an absolute disaster.
It is a disaster. And Zach, you were telling me something about a little something that happened in Chicago. Recently. What's the deal with Chicago?
I was reading about this morning, and I don't know if there are any updates. But solidarity with the teachers of Chicago who did walk out this morning. They had a list of 3 demands, which I think are very simple demands. One is that one of them is that kids would have to opt out of testing rather than opting into testing. Two is that now I have to look. Hold on, I have to look up what the other.
It's okay. You can look it up.
Yep. All right, just 1 second. So yes, so there one was a test to return program for students who are positive. They needed positive, negative test return. Weekly testing parents would opt out of instead of opting in, and a metric for which they decide whether to keep a building open or closed. 3 very simple, I think very simple asks, and ones that a lot of these people who are going on about these unreasonable teachers, I imagine a good number of them, if you ask them, probably would guess that those are things that are in place. Which just shows how little they actually know about what's going on. So, excuse me. In response, Mayor Lori Lightfoot has locked the teachers out of their Google accounts so that they cannot teach. They cannot teach at home. It's essentially a lockout going on, and Lori Lightfoot. I know that Eric Adams is starting to encroach onto your territory, but he just got here, and Lori Lightfoot's like, "You think you're the bad mayor? I've been being a bad mayor for years now. You can't take my spot within 2 days."
Jesus, it's not good. I think it really is frustrating how like anything teachers try to do is painted as them being selfish. We're like, they're doing a lot for the students. Like, there are obviously, if you are under the age of 5, you are not vaccinated. And then if you are, if you're younger than 18, your choice to get vaccinated is in your parents' hands, unfortunately. So like, if your parents are kind of dumb and they won't let you get vaccinated, you're kind of out of luck. And schools are places where people gather. So it makes sense that if there is a virus, it's going to spread. A lot of teachers have said very explicitly, like, remote learning sucks. It's not easier for me to teach over Zoom, but I feel like we should do it to protect the people who work and learn in schools. Like, it's not great, it just really doesn't seem to make sense. It's like, why are we keeping schools, like, to what benefit are we keeping schools open? Especially because I think I think a lot of the rhetoric is like, oh, well, like people need daycare and they're gonna still like they're also going to be out of work if their kid gets COVID and gives it to everyone, you know?
Right.
So
and again, like if the important thing is that kids can go to school, then why the fuck is the mall open then? Like why are all of these things that are going to exacerbate the pandemic being allowed if the most important thing is to get kids to be in school?
Yeah.
Like why are all, like a lot of other countries, a lot of other countries have closed down indoor dining and have closed everything down in order to create circumstances where cases are low enough to justify in-person class.
Yes.
Like why if you want in-person class, then why aren't you paying parents to stay at home so that they don't have to go to work and get their, you know, it's all ridiculous, and it's the most selfish people on the planet accusing teachers, who are some of the most selfless people on the planet, of being selfish.
Yes, it's frustrating. Yeah, this country is deeply broken. But I think we have a little time for a commercial break.
Yeah, let's go to a commercial break.
Let's go to a commercial break.
Hey folks, Zach here. I'm just here to let you guys know this week about some good investment tips for this upcoming year. People are always asking me, Zach, what's the next big thing? What's the new thing to invest in? And do I invest in the crypto or the non-funky tokens? I'd tell you what, leave the NFTs and leave the Bitcoins in last year, because I'll tell you what, for 2022, the thing that everybody's going to be investing in, old crumpled up pieces of paper that you printed a Ticketmaster concert ticket for, and then you left in your house and forgot to throw away because you're like, oh, this is meaningful to me. I just came back from this concert. But then you realize, oh, it's a piece of paper that does not, it's not like even a good ticket. But if you have them, there's probably one in your house right now somewhere. And you're like, why is it valuable? Well, I just cleaned my house and I just found like 2 or 3 of them. So if they're not valuable, why was I holding on to them? Answer me that. Why do I keep finding them if past me didn't know that in the future it would be very advantageous, you know, that past me knew that there would be money in a crumpled up old piece of paper that says that I saw Thundercat in 2017. Why would I have that if it wasn't valuable? Because I'm an investor and I knew that I was invested in a gold mine. So be sure to invest all your money in this upcoming year. All your savings. I'm not going to say all your money, but all your savings invested in crumpled up pieces of paper that you had to print out for a show from Ticketmaster. That's where the money is going to be next year.
Amazing. That's great. Thank you for that highly valuable information, Zach. That's very important. So what else? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm Mr. Investments. Okay.
Yeah, you just love investments. You love investing. I get it. Yes. I get it. So what's going on this week? Things are happening. What's been happening this week?
So aside from what we talked about before, I think the main thing we do have to talk about is tomorrow is the anniversary of January 6th.
Yeah.
Kendra, what did you get me for the first anniversary?
I'm sorry, I completely forgot. Actually, I didn't get you anything. I
mean, do we even want to talk? Like, what do we have anything to say about this? It's going to be. All that I can tell you is that tomorrow is going to be tedious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really look at the news, but yeah, it's gonna be tedious. It's not gonna be good. Which is frustrating.
I watched a little bit of CNN on New Year's Eve, just because it's fun to watch Andy Cohen and all of the others just get absolute. They just let everybody get drunk on CNN on New Year's.
Which, the one good thing CNN has done is just let people with like some power or like social or economic capital get shit-faced and then just like talk shit. And then Anderson Cooper is like, oh my God, this guy keeps talking. And then the Andy whatever is like, you know what? Bill de Blasio, blah, blah, blah. That's what we need. That is what will unite.
They also, I missed this. I only saw the picture of it afterwards. But some comedian showed up dressed as the ghost of Cornelius Vanderbilt, who is Anderson Cooper's relative, his 6 generations back ancestor, which is good. I like anytime they admit that it's not talent that gets any of them anywhere. It's coming from a rich family.
Yeah.
So that was a fun thing to learn. But as I was watching it, they kept doing ads for like their January 6th show, and it's like, I was going to say you can't do this, but the most American thing to do would be to like forebode and scare about the coming creep of fascism, but in a way that it makes it a marketable, sellable television show. Like on one hand, it should be like, oh, then I can't be that scared of it if it's a TV show that CNN is doing. But also, CNN would, like, something that is actually scary, CNN would absolutely, I mean, they did the same thing with Trump. It's good television.
Yeah. It would be great if there was actually good, it would be great if there were actually good analysis towards this event. I mean, because I do remember how scary that day was, even though, like, I'm not saying this from any sort of like, oh, like, I didn't realize this could happen in America, but like, gangs of angry white people just, it doesn't go well for a large portion.
There's historical precedent to be scared of that.
Yes.
More historical precedent for you to be scared of that than anybody in Congress.
Yes, that's also true. That's also very true. And it was just, I guess the entire thing has been frustrating. And it's not exactly that I like expected Congress to do anything. It would have just been nice if, like, people actually described it as an attempted coup. But of course, we're not actually going to do anything for it. And then, people are going to try it again. So. Right.
Yes. And like, it really doesn't, because like, it sort of is a coup, but on the other hand, like, you don't see very many coups that try to keep the current leader in power.
Yes, that's also true.
Like, it's a very different, and really, like, it's not like it had no ideology behind it other than Trumpism and I mean fascism, but that's sort of, it's like, you can't really remove that from Trumpism or American patriotism. They're sort of just like tie-dye
all together,
all swirled together in ways that it's hard to define where one begins and one ends. But it's not like they had a plan of what they were going to do. I mean, and you can see in terms of they just got in there and they just like sat in the offices. The only guy, the guy who took the podium, like, at least that guy was like, cool, I'm gonna take something.
Yeah, like, I think there were plans. I think there were unsourced or unsighted discussions of killing some people in Congress, which is kind of worrying. But of course, they didn't do it. It seems like they were just. It's not
I think you are right to assume that something like this it's more likely that something like this will happen again than not.
Yes. Does anyone care? Does anyone who has I wish I could stop it, but like what I don't have anything. Like, what could I do?
This country has just siphoned all of sort of the power to oppose something like this into a police and military that are at best ambivalent towards it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
and at worst, like part of like they're there like, doing it.
Yeah. Like there are probably some DC area like Pentagon type people that have like a militant devotion to the status quo, but they're going to be fewer and farther in between as time goes on, and you know the troops and the cops eventually are going to just be like, oh, I actually the raving lunatic racists actually do appeal to me more than any sort of phony idea of rule of law.
Yes. Well, on that note, it is 9.
Yep.
I know that's a sad note. It is 9. We do want to give a chance for the next show to happen. But of course, Happy New Year. Thank you, everyone, for continuing to watch Left Night. Hopefully, things won't be that dire. It might be stupid to be optimistic, but I'm going to try to be optimistic. And hopefully, we'll have some good news to report. There is a piece of interesting news. There was a wild animal found in Massachusetts, a serval, which is a cat native to Africa. It was just found hanging out, and now it was rescued, and now it's going to be put in a zoo. It's illegal to have servals, and the serval was hurt. But yeah, that's one.
All right. If all right, we'll make a rule. We'll make you a deal, America. If nothing catastrophically bad happens between now and next week's show will be all funny animal stories.
Yo, I feel like you're saying that because you feel like something bad will happen next week.
I mean, it's more likely than not something will. But if you do the right thing, America, and just don't fuck up too bad, next week, Left Night, all funny animal stories.
Yes, definitely. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week. Stick around for Rachel Jane Annelman's show about reviewing the internet. It's going to be really good. And I think Adi Heller is the guest. So stick around for that. All right.